call this meeting to an order at 6 p.m.
House we go to, everything.
For roll call, we have Ms. McFarland absent today. All the other board members are present. Any public comments on closed session? Seeing none. I have a roll call for our board. All board members except Ms. Susan McFarlane are present. And we have our student representatives today. Welcome. Layla Shelton from Bear Creek. Josiah Garcia from Tokay. Welcome, Josiah. And Navkiran Sandhu from Middle College. Why don't we have Josiah take us over to the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you.
Ready, salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We have some reports from the closed session. Personnel matters, public employee appointments. We have a motion from Mr. Nava and a second from Mr. Porter, and the board approves the placement of Elizabeth Viramontes as the principal at Mosher Elementary, effective date to be determined, by the following vote of 6 ayes, 0 noes, and 1 absent. Ms. Alexander motioned and Mr. Stroh second. The board approves the placement of Monique Vessels as the high school assistant principal at Tokay High School, effective date to be determined, with a vote of 6 ayes and 1 absent. Mr. Nava motion and Mr. Porter second. The board approves the placement of Robert Winterhalter as the interim high school vice principal at McNair High, effective date to be determined, and 6 ayes, 1 absent. We have some public hearings today. We declared the Lodi Unified School District contract reopeners with California School Employees Association for the 2025 school year open. Any board comments on that? Do we have any public comments? Seeing none, I declare this public hearing closed. I declare the Lodi Unified School District contract reopener with Lodi Unified Supervisory Group for the 2025 school year open. Any board comments for that? Any public comments? Seeing none, we declare it closed. Declare the Lodi Unified School District contract reopeners with Lodi Pupil Personnel Association for a successor agreement open. Any board comments for this? Any public comments? Seeing none, we declare it closed. Comments from our student representatives. Welcome, first of all. It's a great opportunity for all of you to showcase your skills in public speaking. I look forward to hearing from Layla Shelton from Bear Creek. Any comments from you?
Good evening. No, not at the moment.
Does the board have any questions for Layla?
Real quick, Ms. Shelton, do you have a report about Bear Creek this evening?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Oh, this is the time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Comments and reports.
Now I understand. Thank you so much. Good evening, President Dr. Ball, Board of Education, and Superintendent Neil Young. My name is Layla Shelton, and I am the ASB President at Bear Creek High School. To start off, I would like to say that Bear Creek keeps phones turned off during the school day, including lunches, breaks, and passing periods as part of the district-wide initiative to be present. This initiative is designed to support a more focused learning environment while encouraging in-person connections outside of the digital world. For school events and programs, on August 12th, Bear Creek is hosting our back-to-school night from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in our large gym. For student government, on Tuesday, July 29th, the student government hosted Senior Sunrise. Our senior class president, Ella Chun, worked incredibly hard to plan and coordinate this event on the first day of school over the summer. A cherished senior tradition, it kicked off our final year together by watching the sunrise as a class. This event symbolized a fresh start, unity, and the beginning of our senior journey. On our BC Spirit TikTok page, our Senior Sunrise TikTok has gone viral and has 2 million views. Thanks to our co-commissioner of publicity, Angeline Delgado. On August 1st, Friday, our student government held the Back to School rally led by our commissioners of activities, Kehinde Fukunle and Ariana Valencia. This rally focused on welcoming our freshmen to high school and getting Bruins ready and excited for the school year ahead. Up next, ASB President Layla Shelton will be holding freshman elections to bring new leaders into student government. Following that, we'll have our club rush next week, an exciting opportunity for everyone to join clubs and get involved on campus, led by our ASB Vice President, Alzina Matrano. For performances, I have our Kaba, Poly, and Swing clubs did an amazing job performing at our Back to School rally and pew-rearing their clubs to those who may want to join during Club Rush. For staff accomplishments / recognitions, I have speech and debate coach Ms. Castro was recognized at the National Speech and Debate Tournament last month in Iowa. She was recognized at the new District Chair of the Year, which helps sustain and create a new speech programs in San Joaquin, Stanislaus, and Merced County. Ms. Castro also received her first Diamond Award. This award represents 5 years of coaching service and 15,000 speaking points earned from the team throughout various competitions. Upcoming activities, I have freshman elections, which will be held from August 6th to August 11th, and then our club takeover will be from August 25th to August 29th. That is all for my report. Thank you for listening.
Very well done for your first report. Thank you, Leila. Josiah?
Good evening. Hello. Good evening, President Ball, members of the board, Superintendent Neil Young. It's a pleasure to be here. To get started, what's going on at Tokay, the energy of campus has been incredible the past couple of days. Everyone's pretty excited to be back. Although phones have not been available to the students this year, and it's something to definitely transition to, students are adapting and beginning to reflect a great year upcoming. Fall sports are back in full swing with teams already practicing and competing. There's a lot of Tiger pride in the air, and as the parents of the kids this year are a great bunch, especially the athletes. Tomorrow night at Tokay, we're hosting our fall parent night, where families will have the chance to meet teachers and hear more about the year ahead. On August 15th, we'll hold Club Rush and Thespian Society recruitment, events that give students a chance to explore clubs, art, and leadership opportunities. Our band program is working very hard in preparation for a potential trip to Washington, D.C. It's a big goal, and the whole school is definitely cheering them on. Moving on to student government and leadership, our leadership class has hit the ground running with event planning and community engagement. We've been creating posters and materials to boost school spirit and keep everyone informed on events, spirit days, minimum days, etc. Tonight, as in today, student leaders are participating in the National Night Out at Tokay, proudly representing our school and connecting with the community. Planning is already underway for homecoming as well as prom and possibly a winter formal or other seasonal dance we're trying to figure out. One new idea we're excited about adding is a pumpkin patch or mini farmers market to our trunk or treat event in October. Overall, our plan and focus for student government is to make a very inclusive and fun and community-oriented place for students to join. Moving on to performances, presentations, and events. Our Senior Sunrise event was a great success and helped our seniors kick off their final year with a sense of class unity and positivity. Tomorrow, we will be launching our grade level presentations to go over school expectations and policies such as the no phone policy, as well as to promote student engagement. Leadership students will be helping present and energize these sessions to keep students motivated and involved. That is for the grade level presentations tomorrow. Moving on to student and staff accomplishments. Two of our students, Simon Colbert and Isabella Waters, both seniors at Tokay, recently returned from studying abroad in Spain as a part of an advanced Spanish program, an incredible opportunity for cultural and academic growth. Our fall athletes are working hard in representing the school with Tiger pride, such as cross country, football, flag football, and girls volleyball. And our teachers and staff have been actively supporting student leaders as we roll into the new year. One of these staff members include Thespian Society Supervisor Elizabeth Hensel. Very excited for the year to come, and wanted to bring the attention of the board about funds for transportation for the Thespian Society field trip to Sacramento Broadway Theater. Upcoming highlights. We have National Night Out, which I already talked about, Fall Parent Night, which is tomorrow, Grade Level Presentations, which is tomorrow, Club Rush and Thespian Info Day, which is August 15th, Homecoming, which is in a couple weeks, our Trunk or Treat, which is in October, Prom and Winter Formal, which is later in the year, and student-directed one-act plays from December 4th to December 6th, and then our band fundraiser and trip playing for DC. In closing, we are off to a great start for this school year, and I'm really excited to see how everything unfolds. Thank you for the continued support of the student leadership and activities. This concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have about anything.
Thank you, Josiah. Navgren?
Good evening, President Ball, members of the board, and Superintendent Young. I'm Nat Karen. I am Middle College High School student representative for school activities and programs. On our first day of school, it was July 29th, where teachers reviewed the rules and expectations for the school year. The freshmen have been adjusting to the new environment with the help of upperclassmen. Delta College starts on August 15th, so the campus will be getting busier, and that's when everyone's college classes will also begin, such as Canvas opening up. And clubs have been announcing their meeting days and meetings starting this week. And clubs have also been focusing on signing up members for the year and going through the process of appointing representatives for announcements. For student government, we held freshman orientation on July 28th, the morning of the first day of school. Orientation was led by the ASB Executive Board and all club presidents, who did icebreakers to get them accustomed and gave a tour of the campus. Additionally, we toured Delta College's library to familiarize the freshmen with the amenities offered by Delta. Most of the freshmen were shy, but by the end of orientation, a lot of them did make friends. On July 29th, we hosted Club Rush in Dolores Puerto Plaza in Delta College. Each club got the opportunity to present itself to the student body. They all had their own booths with trifolds explaining their clubs, activities, and prizes to get students involved. The freshmen visited during their ASC, which was an allotted time to do their homework, and they visited from 9 to 10 so that they could visit every booth uninterrupted. The rest of the classes visited from 10 to 10:50, and then each club did put in a lot of effort, and I felt like it went really well. We held our first meeting yesterday, August 4th, after school from 5 to 5:30, and we did a board introduction as well as 2 icebreakers. We did telephone and hot potato. For performances, presentations, and events, the school held presentations on the first 2 days of instruction. On the first day, July 28th, there was a counselor assembly to introduce students to their college counselors and what they have to offer. On the second day of school, July 29th, we had our annual safety assembly held by Delta's police department. The freshmen received a high school etiquette presentation this morning in ASC, which was their academic success center, and they'll receive another presentation regarding our rallies and freshman senator applications towards the middle of the month. Senior Sunrise was held on August 2nd, and we made s'mores, and we had like a kind of a cookout at Michael Fackless Park. For accomplishments, recognition, for average tutorials, they'll start for freshmen, sophomores, and juniors after tutors are selected, so beginning of September. And then in senior Ivy, we're starting scholarship research and our college applications. For co-curricular, Mesa will host an event day to introduce students to the events they have to offer, and they'll allow them to create teams that will eventually pass the fall scrimmage and then compete in spring. For upcoming events, we have our presentation on our Rally Senator presentation on August 14th. Our first day of Delta classes are on August 15th, and then our Club Fest will be on September 9th. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Navgren. Does the board have any comments? Yes, sir.
Is it possible, Dr. Ball, that we get a little background on each of the
Sure,
reps?
absolutely.
I'd like to hear from them.
Go ahead.
Is it possible that I get a little bit about your backgrounds, hobbies, things that you're doing?
Of course, yeah.
Because you're going to be with us all year, unfortunately for you. But I'd like to know you a little bit better.
And also what elementary schools and what you, middle school?
Yeah.
And opinions about the phone thing, how you think it started to work. I know.
We just want to hang out.
questions.
Yes, so I was born and raised here in Stockton, California. I went to Creekside Elementary School, and then I went to Christian McAuliffe, and then now I'm here at Bear Creek as a senior. A little bit about me, I am in speech and debate. This is my second year. I've had the pleasure of playing volleyball for the past 3 years. This year I decided to not play. And yeah, that's really all I can think about right now for some reason, but
What about the phones? What do
Yeah.
you think?
yeah, I feel like our students are kind of struggling to adapt to that initiative. I feel like we've been so used to having phone outs during class, during passing period, during lunch. So it's definitely going to be a hard shift for our students. For me, I feel like the initiative is on the right track. I just feel like for lunches though, I feel like it may be a bit unnecessary because I feel like during lunch is when we are supposed to, have breaks, take our mind off of school. So I think that adaptation will especially be hard for students because we're so used to just taking a break from school. But as far as that, we are slowly transitioning. Thank
And
you.
your goals after high school?
Yes. I want to go to an HBCU after high school.
Outstanding. Good for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First off, thank you, Mr. Porter, for being courteous and asking us about us. We will be with you for a while, so let's build that connection with you. Me, Josiah, I grew up in the Bay Area, like Danville area, Dublin area. I moved here in 5th grade. I don't know what year that was, but I was in 5th grade. I went to Widener Holt Elementary. Not my favorite elementary school I've been to, but it's elementary school. I went to Julie Morgan for 6th grade, and then I went to Elkhorn Middle for my middle school years. But I'm not that smart, so I don't know why I went. Anyway,
I'm sure you are.
I've had the pleasure to do 3 different sports the past 3 years I've been at Tokay. Varsity cross country, but I stopped doing that this year. Varsity wrestling. I'm also an All-American, National All-American in wrestling. And then I did track for 2 years, but right now I'm doing wrestling only. So plans for the future, I want to go to UH Manoa in Hawaii. A little bit different, but it's something that I want to take advantage of. Not many people get to go there for school, so I hope that's something I can eventually do. But my opinion on the phone policy, same as Ms. Shelton next to me. I think it's very hard for our students to probably transition to that, especially like she said in the passing period and the times that you're not in class. For me, I've kind of gotten used to it. It's kind of helped me like kind of live in the present, if that makes sense. Talk to my peers, my teachers more. The soups on the golf carts and everything. More interactive with everyone. But I do know like there are kids who go to the bathroom, not to use the bathroom, but to use their phone. So it's it's gonna take some time to get used to, but I think students at Tokyo will definitely be used to it. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Hello, I'm Karen. I grew up in Reedley, California. It's by Fresno, and then I moved to Galt when I was in 3rd grade. And for elementary school, I went to River Oaks Elementary in Galt, and then I went to McCaffrey Middle School, and now I go to Middle College High School. For me, my hobbies are baking, sewing, and I just really like crafting in general. And then after high school, I hope to pursue chemistry and research. I really enjoy the idea of working in a lab. And then for the phone policy, I feel like our students are slowly adjusting. I know they were really concerned last year when it was presented, like you wanted our thoughts on it. I know a lot of people were concerned because we do have an open campus and they were concerned about safety, but since our phones aren't being taken away, they calmed down a lot. But I think it has, again, allowed students to be more present in the classroom and actually listen to their teachers. Overall, I think it has been doing its job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice. Of course.
Thank you so much. It's always nice to hear from your students. It's refreshing. Good job. We'll move on to a superintendent's report.
Yes, Dr. Ball, members of the board, student representatives, we've been watching you with this new cell phone policy, and we've been getting feedback on how things are going from our end. couple things I would point out. There is more buzz around the school as students are interacting with each other in passing periods, and also during lunchtime. That is something that administrators and staff have shared. I can also tell you that students are spending less time in the bathrooms, which is also a positive from the cell phone policy change. Yes, we understand that this change is significant, and we know part of being in high school is sneaking around the corner and trying to sneak a peek, looking at your results on TikTok, now that things are evidently blowing up. Yet at the same time, we are hearing that in classrooms, students more engaged in conversations, less distracted. And so those are all reasons why the Board of Education originally took on this goal, because it does provide students positive ways to interact with each other. New students not feeling isolated and trying to hide in the corner. And so we know it's going to take a while, but we know that some of the feedback with things being consistent and trying to have all of our high schools follow the same means you're not finding the gaps in some of the high schools to come up with reasons why you're not going to do it at yours. Yet we also know that at our high schools, students are looking at the rules and trying to figure out what can and can't be done. And we appreciate that proactiveness with students. But we are seeing a shift, and we think it's a good shift. And the four of us can debate that later if we want to, as student reps and superintendent. And I'd be happy to come meet with your leadership classes to do so as well. Moving on, we do know that tomorrow at our 3 7-period hybrid schools are moving to a block schedule tomorrow, periods 2, 4, and 6. And it's the first week of the block portion of the hybrid. And so we know it's a new system, and the adjustment it's different. And so those changes can be difficult, but we know so far the early feedback has been positive, and we appreciate everyone's flexibility and patience as we transition to this new model. Moving on, unfortunately, we began the second week of school with an unexpected challenge at Ronald E. McNair High School, where a broken underground water main to the sprinkler system caused significant flooding. I want to extend my sincere thanks to our maintenance and operations and facilities teams for the swift response, to nutrition services providing meals for pickups, and to the McNair administration, staff, and teachers for quickly pivoting to a very challenging situation and moving into remote learning, something none of us wanted to start the year with. Special thanks to our special education team in Park Lane Elementary for stepping up to host 2 of our SDC classes with unique challenges that will begin tomorrow, hopefully, as I've heard, and that'll be good for that population of students. It would be great for everyone, but that was especially important right now. To our McNair families, thank you for your grace and understanding. We know that this has been a disruption, and we appreciate the sacrifices you're making during this unforeseen emergency. We are committed to keeping everyone informed with regular updates as new information becomes available. Currently, our focus is on drying out the affected classrooms and hallways, repairing the broken pipe, which is difficult when so much water underground has saturated that area, and every time you pull water out, additional water flows back in. Let's see, also our teams are working diligently, and in fact we have several restoration companies that have supplied much needed staff. I know tomorrow I believe we have an additional one starting. Is that true? Nope.
3 today.
Oh, 3 today. So we are doing anything and everything we can to move as quickly as we possibly can while staying safe. But as I said before, we are keeping all that information on the McNair High School website, and every update we continue to provide those ongoing. As of right now, we know that this is through Friday, and our sincere goal is to open school back up next Monday, and we will provide more information as we have it. So thank you for all your continued support and partnership. It was not a wonderful Monday morning, and Nicole Vitar, the principal, it was our actual birthday, which couldn't have been a worse way to spend your birthday as the principal. But we expect that we are thankful for everyone's willingness to step in and help out. With that, I have nothing further to share.
Thank you. We're moving on to our public comments for consent agenda A. The public may address the board on consent agenda A, routine business. Each public speaker shall limit their comments to 3 minutes, and if you can please state your first and last name. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board, Superintendent Young, members of the cabinet, and our new student representatives. So I need to talk to you about UH Manoa. I have several relatives who've gone there, so yeah. Anyway, items A1, A2, and A22. There's over $500,000 to the 180 Center. I know that Mr. Porter previously brought up some concerns regarding their religious affiliation, and I want to reiterate that I have concerns in that regards as well. We have $345,000 for attorneys, and I know this goes up. This is going to double or triple by the end of the year, which is the norm. Last year I added it up and we were just under $800,000. I went through all the board things. A lot of it's going to Keenan. A majority of it's going to Keenan, $200,000 to start off. And so I think we really need to look at how our bargaining is done. And finally, oh, hold on. In policy, it's board policy 5121, it's accepting late work. I have a real problem with this. It says, and it's a new part, it says, whenever a student misses an assignment or assessment due to either an excused or unexcused absence, they may turn in the assignments without penalty for being late within a reasonable amount of time. Now, I want to know what a reasonable amount of time is, because as a middle school teacher, my students think that the day before grades are due is a reasonable amount of time. When you have over 200 students, that is not a reasonable amount of time, because if you extend that courtesy to one, you must extend it to all. So what is a reasonable amount of time? I actually work out with a group of people who are who are college professors, and they give a week, and they've said to me, yeah, if you give them a week, they'll ask for another week when they don't make it. So what's a reasonable amount of time? I think that needs to have some more, something more concrete, because what I consider reasonable may not be what a student, or a student's parent for that matter, considers reasonable. So I think that needs to be looked at. I'm very concerned about that, because a parent or a student will bring that up when you're doing their grades. Thank you.
Good evening, board. Ron Heberly, Lodi. Mine's comments are about A10, and I'm not against it. I realize that it's a resolution to say you're going to have a 5-year plan, or that you already have a 5-year plan for facilities. But I do have a couple of questions on it. And one is there an existing 5-year plan that is acceptable to them? And it's either an existing one or you're going to update. And with that, I'd like to ask my second question is there a public committee to do the facilities 5-year plan? We used to have facility meetings all the time, the Future Facilities Task Force, and on and on and on from many previous superintendents. So those are my two questions, is there an existing one? And if we're gonna either do a new one or an updated one, if we're gonna have a public committee. That's it. So if somebody could let me know that, I would appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you for asking those. Mr. Heberly, Edith is going to send you an email, if that's okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Would the board or staff like to pull any items on consent agenda A?
Yes, A1 through 16.
All of them?
I had comments and questions that were unaddressed by the team, and so I want to go through each of the remaining questions. Even though I sent my questions on Thursday, they still were not answered, so I guess we have to go through each one.
So 1 through 16, then I'd like a motion for A 17 through 24.
Dr. Ball, I move we approve the rest of all the agenda A. Consent agenda A.
Or we can pull them from the agenda and then move them.
We're pulling them and we'll talk to each one of them
Okay.
after this motion, yes. So we have a motion on the floor. If I can have a student vote, please. You can vote yes or no or abstain.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. It's a routine business and so you just have to vote. Yeah, that's fine. Aye is good.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And can we have board vote, please? They have to join the meeting. Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent. Good job voting for the first time publicly. Ms. Lenderman?
All right. A1. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for Mr. Horton, Dr. Horton, thank you. The question was on obtaining objective evidence on contracts for training and making sure that there's training effectiveness evaluation moving forward, so that way that we can see success from training and see implementation. I'm sure that responding to that and making sure how we can get that and making sure it's in that contract, how can we do that?
I think a very easy way for us to do that would be we could work with the vendor solution tree, for instance, and we could come up with a post-event survey or feedback mechanism to find out that it was objective. Being that it's a professional development event, gathering hard quantitative data is probably not quite the wheelhouse, but getting qualitative data certainly could be.
And maybe for the future, just seeing that, because there are a lot of contracts in the district, just making sure that there's an effectiveness standpoint, because that is a large volume of money that is being spent in that. So that is one thing I don't see when I see these contracts, and if we could get more clarity on the contract language, on what is actually being used for, that would really be helpful with reviewing this.
Certainly.
The additional questions were on the Windwalker, making sure that when we have them on site, making sure like they're effective as well, and because we have those security there, and making sure that we are making sure that we have accountability, so that things don't happen on campuses when we do have them. That was the other question I had on A1, and then I don't know who that's in general for, but that was left open as well.
Can I point of clarification before you move on? You did ask those questions and they were answered. Did you have additional questions specifically? Because
Yes. The
Okay,
additional questions were just not just what the purpose was how do you verify that effectiveness overall? How do we show that we have objective evidence that these are being completed, that the contracts and where we're spending money is effective?
Okay, because I'm looking at the questions you asked on A1 and the answers I provided. So the additional, can you provide some objective evidence? Is that specifically for the entirety of all the contracts or just the one with solution trees?
Oh, just in general, just so we can look at the effectiveness.
Okay, yeah, we can sit down and look at that. I tried to provide answers to that, so I'm just trying to understand what your specific concerns were about the answers that were provided. Okay, thank you.
And then additionally for the Stockton PD, the 2 officers per game and making sure that we do have, I mean, that amount is different than like our resource officer amount, so making sure that that makes sense for the number of games that are there.
Okay.
That's it on A1.
That's for
Well,
A1.
I had one on the Keenan on the N180, but it looks like there's a little bit more information for 180, so I think I'm okay on A1.
Are we good to vote for A1 then?
I have a question.
Yes.
Yes. On A1, I met with Mr. Young, because I was the one that questioned a lot of the contracts and how we, and I get that, and I agree with Ms. Letterman that with effectiveness and results are so important, because we don't want to be paying something that isn't doing what it's doing. I met with Mr. Young about the 180 programs and my concern about the separation between church and state, and he assured me that 180 is a completely separate entity, and that they have a completely different economic and 503, I think it's 503.
501c3.
501c, thank you. And we went through it in great detail, and what they offer for our district, for our students that are in need. So again, I'm very, very comfortable after my conversation with Mr. Young, after I raised the questions 2 weeks ago about that situation. So I just wanted to put that out here now, that I am comfortable with where we are and hopefully moving forward. And it appears that a lot of these schools that are in need are being positively affected. But again, we like to see results, of course, like on any contract that we do. So thank you, Mr. Young, for that meeting.
Okay. Ms. Linderman, do you have all your answers for A1?
We do need objective evidence.
So he's gonna email you.
Yes, additional information.
Yes. So I would like then have a motion for A1, because now we have to go each one. So if I can have a motion,
I have motion that we approve A1.
thank you. And can I have student vote for that, please?
Aye.
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 Thank you. And board vote? Thank you. Motion passes 5 yes, 1 no, and 1 absent. A2, Ms. Lenderman?
All right, for A2, we have, I had to ask questions about Atkinson, and Andelson, Loya, Rudd, and Romo. There is still more questions on what we're actually using them for, just how many, what the legal advice, like what is the actual legal advice that they provide in that retainer. There was a generic answer, but not as specific.
Yes.
Members of the board, I also want you to know that when we have legal representation that is for cabinet and or the board, we don't always provide that because we're not required in the Brown Act to provide the specific legal information publicly, because it does pertain to legal settlements or lawsuits, or it can even be for negotiations or contract disputes. So as far as, I mean, the one question I see here that I wasn't able to provide is how many hours of training. I didn't have that answer in front of me. I didn't have the total. But I've tried to provide additional details to you under the AALRR, DWK, and Jerry Adams as well. So I want to make sure that you receive the answers that I did provide.
There are some answers. Most of them are very generic answers, and so I think that we could do better on the effectiveness. But I know it's hard because we only have the 72 hours and we get on Thursday, and so when I send the response on Thursday night, probably they get it Friday morning. So it's probably not a lot of time get enough information
Sure.
to make that happen.
You can though reach out and if you want to ask our superintendent or the cabinet members
Oh, I do.
for these informations beyond the board meeting sessions.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, I'd actually very proactive of asking as many questions as possible.
perfect. So does the A2 suffice?
No, I would like more information on the trainings and the effectiveness of them.
Okay. And we'll have our superintendent, I'm gonna defer it to you, if you can provide that to Ms. Lenderman, please.
Yeah, I may not be able to go back and provide any details. What I provided for you here is how do we utilize AALR? And specifically, this is a retainer. This doesn't mean we have used AALR yet for like frisk training, but that is one avenue that we would utilize an attorney to provide that training. So some of the requests you're asking, whether objective evidence or more detail, I may not have it at this time, but I am trying to provide a concise answer to address that in that timely manner. So we may need to sit down to calibrate what your expectation is and what we can provide while simultaneously trying to stay up on everything going on a daily basis, because this is just trying to provide you answers in a general sense to your questions about these vendors, but the detail that you're asking for, I may not have those details available specifically. I may be able to provide you the hours that we utilized them in the past so you can see that, but we may not have mechanisms in place to pull together what you're specifically asking. That may not be part of what we do currently. So I want to answer your questions, but I don't know if I have the answers that you're looking for at this time. That may not be what staff is specifically gathering, whether what you're asking for objective, but if Solution Trees is providing assistance and we're getting feedback, that's not going to be objective feedback, that's going to be someone's opinion, which is not objective, it's subjective, it's how they perceive the training went. So I'm not sure we have all the mechanisms in place for what you're asking for, Mrs. Lenderman, but I am trying to provide you the answers that I can. So I may not have the details that you're asking for at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Sure.
Yeah, A2 is was the one that I asked, well, part of it was my areas of concern. First of all, I want to commend Dr. Ball and Mr. Young for putting more of a description under the vendor, and Edith as well, sorry. I didn't mean to leave you on purpose. So that gives me a little more clarity as well. Also with Ms. Letterman, I agree with her effectiveness, but in my meeting with Mr. Young, with legal firms, that's kind of hard to clarify. I do agree with the consulting and issues like that. Most PD, professional development, Ms. Letterman has shown no change in student outcome. You can look that up anywhere. I think professional development will show that there is no change in student outcome performance. And I've looked that up over the board. I mean, they can hire all these consultants, but professional development has shown not to improve student performance. So that's one thing you can go into. The other courses that we talked about, Jerry Adams and Mr. Young, and Kingsley Bogart, Mr. Young and I went in detail. And again, I'm comfortable, based on our conversation, which is between he and I, where we are headed with that in the future, and his, what he sees down the road, his foresight on that. So I'm comfortable after our discussion with those issues that I brought up last time that we were discussing this. So that's kind of a little clarity there. Also, in regards to the 72 hours, it used to be that the board would get the agenda on Friday. Then we pushed it to, I think it was me, I have a big mouth. We pushed it to Wednesday, and then the board decided to go to Thursday. So actually, it's been an improvement over the previous board when they got the agenda Friday night. And then you had very little time. So we've had a little more room in there for administration. Putting an agenda together is not an easy task. So, just to give you a little history there, and I'm going off track here. But anyway, I just wanted to put in my comments about this because I was the one that promoted that. I appreciate what's been done. I appreciate my comments with Mr. Young that where we're headed with these issues. So again, thank you for making more in-depth on these topics and where the money's going and where we're headed after my conversation with Mr. Young. So I just want to get that out there and clear based on what I said 2 weeks ago.
Thank you, Mr. Porter.
Okay. So motion to approve?
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Can we have student vote?
Aye.
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 Thank you. And board vote, please. Thank you. Motion passes 5 yes, 1 absent, and 1 no. 8-3, Ms. Lenderman.
Alright, so A3 had a series of questions to April on, hold on, 101.01 and 101.02, which are still pending answers for FTE impact and making sure that we are ensuring continuity of services during these staffing shifts or budget changes. The 101.07, 101.25, questions still outstanding, what outcomes or results are we expecting? Without clear outcomes, our funds may not translate into student success. And then risks of underutilization if the program isn't aligned with student interests or workforce needs. And then a brief on the estimates that were determined on how they got to their estimates.
So these are the questions you've already posed?
Yes, there were some answers, but there was a lot that they couldn't answer.
So again, members of the board, the specific budget changes that were at the heart of this and the questions you were asking specifically that have to do with special education services, the budget changes are coming through because Ms. Juarez needs to make those adjustments. I'm unable to provide you some of the detailed answers you're asking, which are general in nature about the services provided, not the budget. This is about the budget aspect of it. I know that we did have your report that we were part of, and there are things like next week, the next board meeting, we're going to bring back some information and start looking at those pieces. But providing you that amount of information, which we may not readily have it the way you're asking, is the challenge with the questions you're asking. I really may not be able to provide the answers because they aren't about why budget made the adjustment. They're about the specific service model, and looking at the quality control of what's happening with those services. Those aren't directly aligned. Those are two different pieces as I look at it.
So the impact of changing financial amount could impact services, it could impact quality. And so without monitoring quality when we change finances, then we could inadvertently impact outcomes, students, our community negatively. So if we have budgeted items and we have changed that budget, we want to make sure that we've assessed the risk from all areas so that way we can be clear that there is no adverse effect or impact. So when we're looking at these budget items as board members, my goal is to make sure that we've asked those questions and that we're really clear that there's no impact, right? If not, what am I, a rubber stamper? Am I here to just approve?
Well, are you saying budget changes are causing change in services?
I'm asking the question, did we evaluate that? Did we evaluate the
What,
risk or
at
impact?
which point, what point of service delivery are you questioning this?
So this is 101.01, 101.02. right? Those are the financial budget items. So the budget shows a reduction, right? I wanted to make sure that even if there's a reduction and that there is no service impact to those individuals. Just want to make sure that when we look at those line items and we see a reduction in cost. And yes, it's within budget, but I want to make sure that what is the quality impact, right? Just making sure we double check and we've asked the question.
I would like for us to maybe have Ms. Slenderman go through some of these financials with Ms. Warren one-on-one, if you have time for that.
Yeah.
Because I think these explanations need to be shown to Ms. Slenderman. She's obviously asking for them. If you can make time, please, so she has, yeah, I would appreciate that. I think your board will appreciate that. Is it just an explanation of how the budget works, or is there an impact to the services with any of
the
these
impact
changes?
assessment is more important. How we make the determination that we get to an estimate, right? So if I'm creating an estimate, what is the basis that I'm using to
I'll
establish
let you
that?
talk to Ms. Juarez about that.
Okay.
At this point, I don't want to mess with the budget that they are all working on all the time.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask for a motion for 8.3. Unless another board member has questions. Do we not want to pass 8.3 and just table it?
That's the board's decision. This is specifically
What
the
would you like to do,
changes to the
board?
adopted budget.
We
So,
have any questions that Ms. Slenderman has, Ms. Juarez is going to sit with her and talk about it. So I'm asking for a motion.
I motion to approve. Second.
Can I have student vote, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Can I have board vote, please?
Keep asking questions, please.
So motion passes 4 yes, 2 noes, and 1 absent. So Ms. Letterman, I actually personally really appreciate your questions, but I think they're in detail that you really should talk to Ms. Juarez about. And I'm pretty sure your board is not, nobody is against any of these questions.
And I don't think anyone's against it. I think with the infrastructure for data doesn't exist yet. So for me, to approve on without data, it just feels empty. And even though I know that this team is doing everything they can, the goal of, and the role of the board, right, and the training that we received was that we're here for oversight, to make sure that we're.
And you're
we're following
absolutely
the
right
process.
when you're saying that, but I would like for us to have these answers available to you before the board meetings occur.
Yeah.
So that's the effort they're going to make for you.
Ideally, that's exactly where I would like. I mean,
Thank you.
Ideally, I never have to stop A1 through 16.
No, it's fine, it's okay.
But it's more of, what was that? I feel like if I'm approving something,
Mhm.
and I didn't have these questions, like, and I just am approving without having stopped and said something,
No, it's fine.
then it's, I don't know, conflict in my
Your questions are not being questioned.
like,
It's just that once we get to a point that how are you going to get the answers, I'm just asking for us to move to the next one. So your answers are coming from specifically Ms. Juarez for you. Okay, thank you. So we can move on to A4, Ms. Slenderman?
yes, move on to A4. Okay, so A4, I understand what the definition of regrettable turnover is, which is why I asked for what does regrettable turnover look like today, right? And making sure that when we look at some of our metrics for certificated staff, that we can look at the data infrastructure that we have for HR or for human resources and hiring, and making sure that we have a pulse on what's coming through our system. So if we know that people are leaving because they're choosing to leave because they're unhappy, right? And that is, and we truly regret that they are leaving, That is that regrettable turnover metric, right? That doesn't exist today. So that was essentially what the answer was, is this does not exist, and that they're still working on getting us data to see the percentage of openings by school and how much that percentage. But overall, I don't have so I would like to, I can still vote on A4 because ultimately that's a strategic change in how we look at data for that, not the positions itself.
So you don't have questions for A4 right now?
It's just more of the way that we view incoming next and outgoing.
Okay.
It's more of a comment that we should look at the infrastructure and change the way that data looks.
Any questions from other board members? And can I have a motion for A4, please?
Motion approved. Second.
Student vote?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Board vote? Thank you. Motion passes 6 yes and 1 absent. A5, Ms. Letterman?
Alright. A5 is, where did it jump to? It's kind of lumped in with just the master contracts question. Actually, no, this one's good. This one actually just got lumped in on accident. It was with my questions for facilities, sorry.
It's okay.
Motion approved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Student vote?
Aye.
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 Thank you, students. And can we have board vote, please? Thanks. Thank you. Motion passes 6 yes and 1 absent. A6, Ms. Venerable.
So A6 through A16 has the same set of questions.
We actually have to go one at a time.
Oh, okay, well then, I guess we're gonna get really good at hearing these same set of questions. Alright, so just making sure, like, when we look at projects and completed projects, how do we look at lessons learned? How do we look at percent effectiveness? How do we look at percent on-time budget, on-time delivery? How do we look at projects and those completions, and maybe having like some pictures for the board to say, oh, this is the result of things that we're approving. This is, I mean, how do we make sure that we're getting what we're asking for as a community, and then making sure that we also are building an archive of lessons learned in our projects and constructions, because I mean, our goal shouldn't be deferred maintenance. And I know you guys have a report, I have a question on that too, later. And just seeing all of these constructions, these dollar values just come through, making sure that as we look at them, we look at that effectiveness.
Okay, so yes, we are taking plenty of pictures, so I'll take the easy one out first. As far as effectiveness, so part of the projects, one thing I want to make sure that you understand is that with these large DSA architect projects, not a penny is spent without it being signed off by an inspector, by an architect, before we can even pay the contractor. So there is that level of check. We are always learning lessons. We are always building, in some cases that may be memory banks, a little less formal than I believe what you're asking for. But we always take the lessons that we learn from projects on to our next projects. Sorry, you had a lot of questions. Can you remind me, did I miss anything?
So this one for A6 is the final change price for the contract on the North Stockton
Kitchen HVAC units?
Yeah, the HVAC
Yes.
units.
Yes.
So just seeing that, and maybe looking at that entire project as and having those lessons learned and building a project portfolio so that we can have, I don't know, more effective projects on time in budget.
Well, I will point out that all of these notice of completions did come in under budget, so they were all under budget projects and completed before the school, the start of school. We know that the Vinewood project is delayed, and we understand why that was delayed. But I think that's pretty evident to the success of the projects, just by this long list right here.
Does that answer your question?
And just making sure that we kind of close out, just maybe a summary for a report. Maybe this is something we could
For
ask
the project for HVAC
Just
units?
projects in general, that come not only through the summer, but just effectiveness, like a closure criteria for the individuals when they post these reports.
We do, we have punch lists, everything has to be signed off before the projects are closed, before anything is paid, everything is inspected. There is a set procedure and criteria that has to be met for each of the projects. It's very regulated and a lot of oversight between us, our inspectors, our architects, DSA. It's a whole team collaboration to get it done. And I, just on the note of pictures and to kind of show off some of the projects, we have over this past summer worked with Mr. Stowers, one of our teachers, who has done drone shots and videos, and he is working with Ms. Arnett to publish those. So we've produced quite a bank of our successes for this year.
Thank you, Edith.
As somebody who grew up with a father who was a contractor, every construction you get involved in is its own adventure. You just don't know what you're getting into. You don't know where the pipes are. You don't know if it was level. You don't know if the sub's going to show up. You don't know so many. So every time you do a construction project, it's an adventure. Now, you need good oversight? Yes. She has a checklist of people to check everything off before she pays. So I'm fairly confident, based on what I've seen within our district, that that's being done. I know the state is very strict on how these people get paid. The fact that we're under budget is incredible. But you can't think of, you may archive a builder you had a bad situation with. That's pretty easy to do. But every time you go, you just don't know what tree root is grown where and what's wrapped around some pipe. And it's an event, like I was trying to say, it's a one-time deal. So we can't nitpick every construction we do and put it in one box. It just doesn't happen that way. So I think we've been doing a great job in our construction. And I think Ms. Holbert has been as forthcoming as she can be. And things happen. And of course, people are not happy. But then we didn't mean for that root to go around the main pipe and snag it or whatever. That's just a comment about, I know where you're going with this and I like it. But I think that one area our district is really strong in is making sure, except for one high school, making sure that things are being done purposely, on time, and have good, proper management. That's just my opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Porter.
So motion to approve?
I was just gonna ask Ms. Netterman, does all of this suffice what you were asking for on A6?
Maybe we can get more pictures, more completion, just more verification that those punch lists, I mean,
And you would like that per project?
if possible. And the notes.
Absolutely.
There you go. Thank you. We have a motion, thank you. Can I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. Can I have student vote, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, students, and can we have board vote, please, for A6? Thank you. Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent. Ms. Lenderman, A7.
Same questions.
Does it suffice the answers given to you?
You go ahead and provide all the, okay. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Motion approved.
Thank you.
I'll second.
And can we have student vote, please?
Aye.
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 Thank you. And board vote? Thank you, board. Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent. A8, Ms. Lenderman?
Same questions, just on the construction.
Motion approved.
Second. Student vote, please.
Aye.
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 Thank you. Board vote for A8. Thank you, board. Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent. And A9, Ms. Lenderman?
Same questions.
Motion approved.
Second.
Student vote, please.
Aye.
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 Thank you. And board vote. Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent. A10, Ms. Lenderman?
Same questions on just moving, how do we move through these projects and gain lessons learned, making sure we're making effective decisions in the contracts, and then making sure that the contracts meet the plan and what the needs of the community and are effective.
May I have a motion, please?
Comment. I just want
Yes,
to pair, Mr. Heverly, are we overlapping a 5-year plan that we already have? I would like to take a look at that, and since I'm on the facilities committee, are we overlapping what we've already set forth? And going from that, you can send me an email, so that's all I ask. And motion to approve.
I'll second.
Thank you. Can I have student vote, please?
Aye.
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 Thank you, students, and board vote. Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent. A11, Ms. Lenderman?
Same questions on effectiveness, project planning, making sure that we are doing the best we can.
Questions, please?
Motion approved.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Student.
Aye.
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 Thank you, students, and board vote, please. Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent. A12, Ms. Lenderman?
Same questions. So effectiveness, making sure the contracts make sense, making sure that we're building lessons learned, and we're continuing to build better schools with better materials and thinking for the future.
Same answers I would just like to add on this one. This is a Measure U project, so there's even additional oversight with the bond measure oversight committee as well, so the Measure U committee.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion. Student vote, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, students. Board vote. Thank you. Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent. A13, Ms. Lenderman?
Same questions.
Any
So-
questions from the board?
Motion approved.
Second.
Second. Student vote, please.
Aye.
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 Thank you. And board vote. Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent. A14, Ms. Lenderman?
Same questions on the contracts and the building construction.
Motion approved.
I'll second.
Student vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, and board vote. Thank you. Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent, A15, Ms. Lenderman.
Same questions on facilities.
Motion approved.
I'll second.
Student vote
Aye.
Aye.
and board vote, please. Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent, A16, Ms. Lenderman.
Just on contract, this was just effectiveness of contracts and making sure that this was, that the services are improving for the students.
Did you have anything to add, Edith?
It's on nutrition services.
Yeah, it's on nutrition services. I'm happy to have Betty respond to the effectiveness. I don't want to speak for her on this one. I think she can provide a better detail, so I'm happy to follow up with you.
And I think we'll bring reports on this.
They do, yeah.
Thank you. Can I have a motion, please?
All motion to approve.
I'll second.
And student vote, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Board vote.
I need you to wait till the system has
Okay.
had an issue.
Correct.
Can we start with Ms. Lenderman for a verbal vote, please?
This one I probably need a little more detail, so I'd say no.
Aye.
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 5 yes, 1 no, 1 absent. Motion passes. Did we have A17 to go through still?
No, the ASMP was on pretty.
It was on the previous one. Thank you so much. Thank you, Board. And we are on to public comments on other action items. The public may address the board on other action items. Each public speaker shall limit their comments to 3 minutes. Please say your first and last name.
Good evening again, Lisa Wilkins, President of Lodi Education Association. Item OAI1, I do not object to paying our substitutes more. We know that it's a competitive market. What I do object to, though, is that 30% increase for teachers who go on differential pay. It shows up in their differential pay, and it really hurts them. Most of our teachers who go out on differential pay are younger teachers who are on maternity leave, because we don't have paid maternity leave. So when you increase that by 30%, the price they pay for a sub is deducted from their daily rate. Teachers have to pay for their replacements. Doesn't happen in other industries, only in teaching. And it really hurts. Now, I know a few years ago, the board did decide not to have that 30% pay increase reflected on differential pay. And I'd like to have that back again. Because again, it really hurts our younger teachers who are trying to build their families and create a life here in the Lodi district that their kids will go to. So if we want to keep these people here, we need to think about what we're doing to our younger teachers. Thank you.
I don't see any other public comments. I'll move on to the other action items. Item OAI1, approval to increase teacher substitute budget by 30% to reflect a 30%. Hold on.
Question for Neil.
Let me just read it out.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. For teacher substitutes based on their daily substitute pay for July 22nd, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. Ms. Church?
Okay.
Thank you.
My sister's subbing. Can I vote on this or not?
Technically, under the Brown Act, this is not to pay your sister more. This is a collective, so I do not believe this would be a violation of the Brown Act because you're not voting for her. You're voting for all substitutes to be paid the same way. There's nothing wrong with you just simply abstaining if you don't feel comfortable, but I would tell you that it's not a violation because this is a general sense. All substitutes will be paid the same way, and your immediate family member would not be specifically treated differently.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Chu?
President Ball, members of the board, before you is for your approval is a proposal for a 30% increase for our daily subs.
Do we have any student comments on this? Okay. Any board comments?
I have a question for Ms. Chair. Sure. Is it possible you can get disability insurance for this when you're pregnant?
Through a third party, there is disability insurance.
We have to pay for it.
Yeah.
You can share the disability insurance though.
No, it doesn't cover the differential.
I'm sorry, I'm just asking Ms. Church.
Ms. Church, please.
Yes. So I just remember my wife got it, my wife at the time. She had disability insurance. I wonder if that still takes effect.
Disability insurance is through a third party, such as the standard.
But we do offer it as a district, the disability insurance. No, we don't offer it, but
It's available.
It's available.
it's available.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, I need clarification.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other board comments?
I had all my questions answered on this one. Thank you.
Can I have a motion from
I
Ms.
move we
please?
approve.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Can we have student vote, please?
Aye.
Thank you. And board vote. Do you want us to do verbal, Mike, or?
No, it's just backup.
Okay. Thank you. Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent. Public comments on reports. The public may address the board on reports. Each public speaker shall limit their comments to 3 minutes. Are there any public comments on reports?
Good evening, President Val, members of the board, Superintendent Young, Rodrigo Contreras, CSEA Lodi 77 President. Tonight, I would like to comment on addressing facilities and grounds report. When I first read this report, I quickly reached out to Superintendent Young. He gracefully accepted to meet with me. This report is drafted with everyone's best intentions. Yes, we need utility workers at our high schools. They are essential for preventative maintenance, helping in addressing small repairs. Yes, we could also use more groundskeepers. The issue I have is that we do not have anyone to make it green. This report is not addressing the need of rainmakers. We are all here today from different civilizations and cultures. Most had water gods that they prayed and sacrificed to bring life to. Let's please not do that. My point. Without a reliable source of water, many civilizations perished. Lodi Unified School District has very sophisticated irrigation systems that only a specialist knows how to operate, maintain, and repair. Commercial irrigation systems are like comparing a Ferrari F50 to a Volkswagen Beetle. Very different. Sorry, type this on the go. I have heard many times anyone can do irrigation. It's just like a house. No, it's not. Only an irrigation specialist knows how to program efficiently to comply with today's regulations, vast different pressurized systems with different sprinkler configurations for precise watering needs. What we are experiencing this week at McNair with the broken main is a common occurrence in the irrigation world. The difference is typically in the field. Very few people know about it, but it's the same thing. When I first became president here at CSEA Lodi 77, I came to the board and I stated, I am here to help you. Please help me help you. Superintendent Young and I researched what other districts have done around us to address the same issue. they have irrigation specialists. I asked them to please do the right thing, and now I'm gonna ask you, please give the guidance to do the right thing. Thank you.
Lisa Wilkins, LEA President. When I first saw the report about facilities and grounds, I was also excited. But after speaking with our CSEA President, I realized that it's not going to do what I thought it was going to do. And what I thought it was going to do is, yes, make our schools more beautiful by having green lawns, getting rid of some of the potholes in the lawns where I see my students who run in the fields trip and twist their ankles. I know it happens at other schools. And, you know, basically what he's saying is these people are going to mow, blow, and edge. That's not sufficient. So we need to, you know, take a look and hire the right people, hire people who have knowledge of irrigation. Because yes, we all live in the valley, we all know. We don't have water, nothing is gonna grow. So that was my comment on that. Around the communication specialist job description, you know, it's really interesting because teachers are always asked to do more, to learn more, to be more flexible, to integrate new processes, new ways of communicating into our, into how we interact with our students and our parents. We don't get a pay raise for it. We don't get a bump up in salary and a bump up in title for doing that. And I've seen this over and over and over again in this district, where they're taking people who, granted they may have gotten more skills, but they bump them up in salary, they bump them up in title. It doesn't seem fair, especially since teachers, we couldn't even settle our contract last year. Seems really, really unfair. So again, I don't know what else to say. And then again, proposed revision to Board Rule 5121. I'm going to bring back the grading issue. I think we need to be more specific on that grading issue because it's just gonna, I think this is going to cause more problems for teachers and the district than you think. It's just the way it's worded. So that's my 2 cents.
We have a report on addressing facilities and grounds, Mr. Young.
Yes, members of the board, before you tonight is a report to address a couple different pieces of a bigger picture. Some immediate issues that we need to consider, or I'm asking you to consider, and bigger picture of looking at our overall maintenance and facilities and how we are specifically addressing the needs that are ongoing and different for each school site. You know, it's always difficult in the summertime when sprinklers, part of them aren't working, and so you see components of grass where it's dry. Or you look and see that a planter is not addressing the water needs of the plants, and it looks like they're dying. Overall, the first view of our school sites is in fact when you walk on a campus, and we want the first view of our school sites to look great. When I brought this, the intention of it was really to look at 2 pieces. One, our comprehensive high schools are massive. I've heard the board on several occasions as we are increasing our baseball and softball fields, whether it's because of Title IX issues at Lodi High School or just needing to update them at Tokay, Bear Creek, and McNair. I've heard you multiple times say we need to make sure we have enough crews to handle the updates that we're making. Initially, I was thinking a groundskeeper, an additional groundskeeper at the 4 comprehensive high schools would make the most sense. After getting input from others and even conversation I had with Rodrigo, a utility worker is someone who is has a higher skill set. I would almost call them the Swiss Army knife. They can do multiple pieces under their job description. So by adding a utility worker, if there is a toilet that is clogged, they could address it immediately. If there is a specific issue that's minor repairs, they can address it immediately, but they can be part of the grounds crew at that site. When you have one groundskeeper and they have vacation days or they go out on paternity leave or maternity leave or something else, you leave a gap for a long period of time. And in the valley with the heat, if you get behind, it's hard to catch back up. So this is really to add a second person to our 4 comprehensive high schools. The recommendation that we would bring back would be that they would be a utility worker. For now, I'm also requesting 2 additional groundskeepers. And this speaks to the bigger challenge that we'll talk about second, which is over time, what's passed down from generation to generation on who is responsible for what and where. Sometimes we don't look at the specific job descriptions, we look at folklore of what we've been told. And so as it pertains to, for example, if a groundskeeper runs over a sprinkler head, they have a very tight schedule, and then you call a specialist from M&O to come down and address that specific issue. Well, that's going to take them off of dealing with another job that needs to be done. So adding 2 groundskeepers, 1 per area in the immediate, would ensure that if there are sprinkler heads that need fixing, they can address those in the immediate without pulling additional maintenance staff. You know, emergencies like this week are all hands on deck, but if all hands are on deck, it means fewer people are out addressing the daily needs of campuses. So the initial recommendation, as I've gone around and viewed school sites and seen some of the challenges, is that to deal with the immediate at the 4 comprehensive high schools as we enter into sports season, is to address that in the immediate with utility workers, so we have additional supports on those giant campuses. The second is to have, in the immediate, 2 additional groundskeepers who can address sprinklers ongoing. As Rodrigo said, they don't make the grass green other than to get the water running, and if the water's not running, we're in trouble. However, the second piece, and I would move you to, I'm going to make sure I have the right page. What we want to do at this point, and this would be on page 3, we want to do an in-depth look at all the needs within our district. Huge geographical district, many school sites, many different systems, many different needs. And I know you'll probably hear later tonight from some concerns at Beckman School about some other issues. In the end, what we want to do is do a deeper dive into services, who provides what, have some site manuals about who's responsible for what, make sure folklore isn't dictating how things get done, who's responsible for what, making sure to review the job descriptions and who can handle different responsibilities. Ultimately, as I'm stating here, to address the growing needs, the ongoing demands, we want to come up with and update the standard operating procedures for the district as it pertains to maintenance and operations. I think we have staff who are out there working very hard. We also want to be effective and efficient, and we want to make sure school sites know what they're responsible for. So this second piece of this is to do a deep dive, come up with updated standard operating procedures, make sure that we're clear at school sites and at the district level, making sure that our work order systems are being tracked, completed, and we do it in such a way that the response time, the appearance of our schools and our different facilities, everything, it's just to update that. So that is why I am bringing this to you. This is of my own request as I've gone around and seen the district, knowing that everyone's trying to keep up, but we need to look deeper. To Rodrigo's point, I'm not saying yes or no to what he is recommending. He has great experience, and we need to rely on that. What I'm saying is we need to update, we need to do an assessment, and then we need to come back and make sure we're meeting the needs of the facilities and the communities that you as board members serve. So, any questions from board members?
Neil, that's what you have to do, get the needs assessment, it's so important. Because a lot of the stuff that's not done is left blind because it's not a need. So we need to, especially, I'm concerned about the McNair baseball fields and all that, they're terrible. They haven't been maintained and they need to be maintained year round by some people that are work there that knows what they're doing.
Yeah, and I here today, I don't want to belittle the hard work of employees going on all over the place.
That's not belittling.
No, I'm just saying, in response to that, Mr. Knob, and I'm not saying you are. What I'm saying is, I see what you see. And I want our facilities, the appearance of them, because that is a first impression. And so there's some work to do up front, knowing that people are working hard, but maybe our systems need to be updated so we're more effective. And then if necessary, we'll bring back additional staffing requests to you or adjustments as we look at the needs throughout the district. So I'm in agreement. I'm a community member as well, and I drive around our schools, and it is something that I want to make sure we're doing our part. Because the first message is when you walk on sends a message, and we want to make sure it's the right one. So.
Any other board comments?
I'm excited for this because as an engineer, deferred maintenance is very expensive in the end. It's making your processes more seamless, your RACI and your standards more effective so that the work is getting done when it needs to get done and calculating time between failure or before that failure occurs. You have predictive maintenance. Predictive maintenance allows you to manage your budget and your inventory more effectively, which is obviously a huge thing for this district so that we can stay relevant and solvent, right? So I see this as a positive thing, other than could use a little bit less words, more pictures, more effective PowerPoint. That was my questions on this was, I'm super excited to see this type of work on solving the processes and aligning it. If you need any support, definitely these types of operations processes are my favorite.
Yeah, it's interesting on the facilities and grounds, what we're doing in feedback and data in, data out, and looking at different things. It's funny how we don't apply that to our academic as well, which was brought up earlier. Just a thought. Seeing how we're doing well in certain areas, how we need to add people in certain things, maybe not. How proactive we are here, which we should be. But yet earlier, Ms. Lettern brought up questions that are kind of similar to this. And your mechanisms here are very similar to what she was asking about. So, just a point, that's all.
Any board comments on the report for facilities and grounds? Any student comments? What would you like to say for your facilities and grounds report? All right, well, thank you. Give it a thought. Next time you'll have to tell us something for a report. All right, well, this is a report, so we are not voting on anything. Thank you, Mr. Young. I am personally excited to see if we can get this going someplace where our grounds do look better. I think we all watch HGTV, Curb Appeal. We would like our schools to look nicer, stay on top of the current trends. Thank you. And I hope this amounts to some additional help to our current employees. It'd be nice. We'll move on to communications specialist job description, Mr. Young.
Yes, members of the board, I'm bringing this before you because over time the reality of the administrative assistant position has morphed. If you were to just look at Monday alone, the number of media outlets that are coming to us. We have an emergency operations center where communications needs to be in the room, while simultaneously we've got an administrative secretary who is out working directly with news media, providing updates and doing work that is generally considered a communication specialist job. That includes being proactive, going out to school sites and being able to highlight events going on. Things such as Bear Creek's International Night. That was an administrative secretary doing the work of updating social media to give the public access to the things going on. So the reality is, over time, even though that position is by definition administrative secretary, the world is changing, and which was once someone standing in front of a camera as a PIO who just gives statements on behalf of the district has now morphed to needing more than just a director of communications. And so this is specifically the administrative secretary job, and this job description reflects the work that she is doing. It would normally be, if the position existed and it were in another group, it would be considered like a reclassification. In this case, in confidential, that doesn't exist, but this is the job description that matches the work that is actually happening at this time from an administrative secretary, which is really not the job duties that they do. So that's why I'm bringing this for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Do students have any comments on this? Thank you. Board comments?
So I think this is important with all the changes that are happening in this district. Communications is key. I mean, we need ADCAR, we need change management, we need effective communication campaigns because that connects the community. Because if we have a connected community, we can do better things. So if that helps the mission, I mean, ultimately, that's going to help us.
Thank you. Any other board comments? Seeing none, I appreciate your report, Mr. Young. Thank you.
I'll bring it back. Thank you.
Proposed revision to board rules. Board Rule 5121, grades evaluation of student achievement, grades K through 12, Rule 6112, school day, and Rule 6146.11, alternative credits towards graduation. Dr. Horton?
Yes, Board President Ball, members of the board, this report is to finally bring a conclusion to our first wave of board policy revisions that have been approved in prior meeting and tonight. These are the rules that accompany those policies. We recognize as we undertake this work with College Career, there are a lot of policies and rules that are not in a very competitive state for our students to be able to exit our schools to go on to places like the UC system, the CSU, private universities, and for us to be in a more competitive state with districts that are in our region or indeed across the state. These revisions are proposed, and we'll be bringing back more batches of these in future meetings to bring these up to more of the current modern age. So tonight I'd like to welcome Ren Van Peck and Cindy Metler. Both are members of the College Career team. Ren is the counselor on special assignment. Cindy is our avid instructional coach. And I'd like them to be able to walk through some of the background work that went into these new board rules.
Great, thank you, Dr. Horton. If you don't mind going to the next slide. So the reason that we're bringing these forward is that we just needed to update language. We used Gamut and other district rules as we were doing the research to update and refine the policy that you just approved and the rules that are coming forward right now.
Okay, first PowerPoint.
So Rule 5121, this involves grades and evaluation of student academic performance in grades K-12. We revised the rule to align with what we're doing district-wide with our strategic goals and initiatives. We also wanted to emphasize consistency and clarity across all schools and grade levels. And this was truly a collaborative team process throughout the Ed Services and College and Career Readiness team.
So school day changed a little bit this year, to say the least. And the idea behind is to, again, update the rules, but to also incentivize our young people. Next slide. Give them more opportunities. And align with the school board, with the school policy 614611, which is alternative credits towards graduation. I'm sorry, I missed this one part. In 6112, The idea behind that is to incentivize students to meet their CCI through the SBAC, through taking AP classes along with passing their SBAC so that they can be able to reduce their caseload or workload to 5 classes instead of 7. That's just a bit updating it. And then this one is alternative credits towards graduation, is to make sure that it's aligned with the board policy 614611.
Thank you. Exciting stuff, new for the new school year.
Yes.
Yes. Any board comments?
Dr. Horton has all my questions on the policies, which I think you've incorporated most of them. I just want to circle back with you on the Rule 6112, but I can do that before we go into the report.
It's a report, yes. But any comments?
Yeah, I have some questions.
Sure.
Maybe I'm getting it. Is the presentation done? Have you gone through everything you wanted to do? Okay. So then the other parts are just for me to reference. Just want to make sure, because that's what I did. On your units that are attained through dual enrollment, are you saying that those can be used towards graduation?
No, elective credits only.
Okay. Now, with the dual enrollment, it said it can replace a class, though, that's not offered at the school. Is that correct?
It doesn't replace any graduation
I
requirements.
didn't say that. I said it can replace a class that's not offered
And for elective credits, sure.
for elective credits. So it does help towards graduation
For elective credits, yes.
for elective credits. Now, on your dual enrollment, are you having teachers from the district do that, or are you having teachers from Delta College?
It's still Delta College at this time. We hope, every other district around us, Roseville, have really taken a leap on this, is to be able to hire their own teachers to teach the college level courses.
Yeah, they would have to be hired by the JC though, is that
Right,
correct?
yeah.
Yeah, they're not hired, we don't dictate who they hire.
Well, we can start by pulling all the teachers that are eligible to teach it if they have the right credential, and saying if Delta can't offer the class for us, then they will have to replace it with someone. That's part of their whole dual enrollment process.
Yeah, I thought the goal, is it CTAP or CCAP?
CCAP.
CCAP, was to make sure that no high school teachers lost jobs.
That is 100%.
Okay, and that's guaranteed in this document that I read, because I got the feeling that it wasn't. And maybe I read it incorrectly, so I'll go over it again. With your dual enrollment, how much is that online versus in seat?
Before COVID, it was 100% in person. After COVID, it's been online.
So we're now online. And when do the students usually take their classes?
On their own time.
On their own time.
Yes.
So there's not one-on-one synchronous, is that correct? It's asynchronous?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Except
it's
for
asynchronous.
speech, which is.
Yeah, speech would be synchronous, I would imagine. And then right now, how many teachers do we have that are actually involved?
I think we only have 2. One is at Lodi and the other one's at Bear Creek.
And then how are we doing with kids that are in trades? Have we established certificates for them to, say, step into electrical or HVAC or carpentry or whatever? Are we headed that way with our dual enrollment?
I don't know if you guys know this, I was gone for the summer, but we applied for the CCAP and received $500,000 over 2 years to do dual enrollment,
Right.
CTE classes and college transfer classes.
Yeah.
And so this year we'll be planning, school year planning that out.
Right.
Meeting with Delta and seeing what we can bring to the schools.
So we're in the embryonic stages of that. Okay. And then my last question is, in regards to this, is that how is the teachers that are working with Delta, how is the relationship going? You only have 2.
where are we with those teachers? What's the feedback we're getting? And then how is the feedback from Delta to us in terms of our teachers meeting the standards, quote, of being a JC teacher?
It's slow.
It's not a good relationship.
It's not, there is no relationship. Because as soon as the Delta College, they have a really strong union. And so when, anyway, we try to get, and they're protecting their numbers and their employment as well as we are,
Right.
unified, so it's the same. They've caught on the fact that it's nice to teach high school kids. They're really nice kids. And so they're like, oh, we can do this. But
No,
the
they
thing
can't.
is, the difference is when we can bring them onto campus, that's a different beast. If they don't live in like this
Right.
side of town, they're like, well, no, then you can, when we start making demands and say, this is what we're willing to do, like, for example, English 9 at Lincoln High
Right.
School English 12 is used for both English 1A and English 12 completion. So that if we can start saying, not anytime soon, but just saying that we're willing to bring every, in the class to each of the high schools, one section, use for elective credits, and, we using that money, we can get, more leverage with teachers, getting teachers trained and saying, hey, we can offer these classes for our high school students in person.
Right, right. So I would imagine, I'm just trying to think about this, anyway, that the JC would think that a little bit above the high school, even though I would tell you right now, a high school teacher would teach the licks out of a JC teacher that's only teaching 3 classes online, working till 11 o'clock or whatever. So I applaud you on that. That's difficult. So we have some hurdles to get there.
Yeah.
Is there anything that I can, because this is something I'm very passionate about. I think it's great for our kids, because especially our kids in the trades. Anything that we could do as a board, or I can do to voice a concern in terms of building a bridge that, hey, we're pretty damn good here with our teachers. And you need to take a look at what we do. Is there anything that we can do that you need?
I would like to actually see all the teachers who have a master's in a subject area.
Right.
Not just a list of masters.
Right.
And so now let's sift to it. I need English, math, and science it has to say masters in science, masters in education counseling, if you want to teach a counsel course, masters in English language and literature and things like that.
Yeah.
That would be nice. We are working on, a math bridge program.
Mhm.
And again, anytime we are ready to work with with LEA to ensure a MOU that there will be no jobs lost due to dual enrollment.
Right.
I can't speak about the budget, but I can guarantee that there will be not one job lost because we bring college classes to our district.
Outstanding.
Our numbers, we have 4 comprehensive high schools.
Right.
And other schools have 1. Okay, Lincoln has more students in dual enrollment than we have at all 4 high schools. That is my passion too. I've been fighting this
Well, it's a
for
little easier with 1 school than you're working with 4, I would think. How many students do we have right now in dual enrollment?
With this fall class, 146 students, and we haven't even started.
Right. How many you have on deck to enroll? Because when does Delta start?
27.
So you got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. I'm pleased where we're headed because I think this is just great for kids to pick up some college units. I was worried about the graduation part of it, worried about whether we have a class. I know that, I believe Lodi just cannibalized their Chem AP, which bothers me.
Oh, that's my bad.
So those types of things we've got to make sure we offer. At the same time, we've got to offer kids trades. It's critical. And I think we've been doing that within the fireman department, police safety, but we need to do in the trades, such as HVAC and so forth. And I know you ladies are starting out on that, and I appreciate all your help and effort.
Real quickly, we want to talk about using our data to meet the students' needs, using our school links in the year surveys seniors. Right. A lot of them have said that they felt dual enrollment is an important piece of their education. So,
yeah, The statewide feedback has been pretty strong. And the JCs are hurting, they need more students, so they need us.
Yeah.
For their, they don't call it ADA, what do they call it? Something else for the way they get money from students that are there. But anyway, I'll look into that. But thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you
I do
so
have a lot
much.
of questions, I'll just shoot out emails to you.
Okay, sounds good. Anybody else?
Thank you so much. Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Porter, those were really good points. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Do we have any board advisory committee reports from any board members? Thank you. How many are there? So I have 11 public comments here. And you have a 20-minute period. "21 minutes would give you 7 public comments. Is the board okay if each speaker gets 2 minutes?
20, yeah, 7 people?
11.
11, I'm sorry.
So if everybody gets a chance, we can have 2 minutes for each speaker, and then everybody gets to speak instead of 2 minutes. Okay, thank you. Shil, can we set the timer to 2 minutes, please? Thank you. A 20-minute time period is allocated for the public to address the board on matters not listed on the agenda. Each speaker is limited to 2 minutes for this meeting. If there are numerous speakers, of course, we are adjusting our times. To share any materials with the board, please provide them to the staff for distribution. Due to restrictions under the California Brown Act, the board cannot engage in discussion regarding public comments. Please state your first and last name before starting. Joel Van Houten.
Hello, my name is Joel Van Houten. I work in the maintenance department doing HVAC. I also have studied extensively in economics, banking, money, and currency. I like working here. I like fixing things and using my brain while I work. However, there are areas I feel we could do better. Such as a district, we have fallen behind in pay scale. The COLA, which should really be renamed because cost of living has gone up far higher than what the state offers, is 2.3% for this year. However, in just 4 months, minimum wage is increasing by 2.49%. This may seem like a minuscule discrepancy, but if you take a look at our classified pay, the very first step of the very first range has already fallen behind minimum wage by 9.2%. Thus making all positions lagging behind. We have positions vacant, with many employees doing work of multiple people due to this. I am not suggesting you could rectify this in one fell swoop, but I would hope we at least could consider a multi-year plan to bring us back up to par. This would increase interest in the district, get higher qualified applicants, reduce turnover, and in turn, increase the quality of work abroad. Thank you.
Thank you. Ron Haberly.
He said it would take 2 minutes for me to get up here. Wait till
Your
they
time
need,
started when you got up.
yeah. Wait till they need new knees. Good evening, board. It's good to see you. What I have tonight is some facility comments. You'll hear some tonight also. They're not directed at you, they're directed to you so that you can understand what our kids are dealing with every day. I have 3 main points. The first one is gains and losses. And I'm referring to the school right around the corner from me, Vinewood School. So something easy to start with, very minuscule, is the sign out in front. the sign is gone. Generation of kids had their pictures in front of that sign. So where is it? Is it coming back? There are planters on either side. They're gone. The center courtyard, the mature shade trees that were there are gone. All the benches that would form a ring around the center courtyard, they're gone. The kids' student garden is gone. Are they coming back? Nobody really knows. The second thing I wanted to talk about was the school site facility committee. And I think that's a great idea. And I really loved it when we started talking to the school sites, because they know what's there and what's needed and so forth. I'm finding that virtually nothing in the way of input was taken into account when the plan was made. The third thing, and this is really near and dear to my heart, is that Measure U was sold to the public, or trying to convince them, marketed, I guess would be a better term, in that we want to provide safety. Well, of course. We wanted to expand facilities, hopefully, so that we could institute STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. The last thing that was a real big selling point was getting rid of portables. Vinewood has had portables for decades. They had 4, and guess what? They still have 4, and nothing on the plan that I saw ever is going to give them new portables. So where do we go from here? Let's reinstitute the site facility committee and get local information as to what is needed at that school before we take on something new. Okay? And I'm offering that as a suggestion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tanner Hurd.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Tanner Hurd. I'm a bus attendant for the transportation department. Recently, things have been very difficult for people at the bus yard. The cost of living in and around Lodi Unified has done nothing but go up. And yet our wages are nowhere near what I would call livable. I can speak from personal experience concerning the shortage of available bus drivers to transport the amount of students that we have. One major reason for this shortage is that the starting wage for a Lodi Unified bus driver is fairly low, and a bus attendant such as myself even lower than that. Things have gotten so bad that even though I have taken the requisite classes to obtain my bus driving certificate and studied so that I might take the necessary tests, living paycheck to paycheck, as I and many other Lodi Unified workers do, simply does not allow me to afford the cost of taking said tests. I don't think it takes a genius to recognize that people working under such conditions does not make for great education. Teachers, landscapers, transportation workers, paraeducators, food service staff, IT workers, and many others are constantly in jeopardy of losing their housing due to inability to afford rent costs, running out of gas because they couldn't scrape together enough quarters to put something in the tank, and needing to decide whether they can afford a week's worth of groceries for their families. I'm asking that you consider suggesting to the appropriate negotiating parties that the wages for Lodi Unified workers are raised. I am certain that you can understand and appreciate the desperate nature of this request. We want to continue to provide excellent education and services to the students we work with, and a decent wage for your workers is the first step in guaranteeing that. Thank you.
Susan Hebron.
Good evening, Susan Heverly. Currently, or in the past, we were on a non-educational calendar called Concept 6. I compiled the data across the United States and developed countries that dealt with the amount of classroom time and education time and student achievement. This presentation was given. The people in the community were against having children beyond Concept 6, and I wasn't part of the presentation, but people of the community were. And the board was very receptive. The superintendent at that time was not present. The district staff met and worked diligently to put together little pieces of paper that symbolized buses and $1,000 bills and schools. And they came up with their own presentation that was just too difficult for them to go off of the calendar. Our children remained. Then that superintendent had to leave for some reasons, some of you know, and was replaced by the superintendent who was given the instruction to go off the calendar, and he accomplished that, because it was done. In California, we've had up and down times with education where we had money, we didn't have money, and we were so happy to get Proposition 30 to pass to give us a funding stream. And in that funding stream, we had the LCAP committee. And the LCAP committee met, and the first time they decided how that money should be spent, and they decided that 100% of the people voted that each classroom in the district should have basic classroom supplies. The school board president at the time asked the superintendent, were there any comments made? And the response was, well, one group wanted to have some after-school extra activities, not saying that 100% of the people voted for the classrooms to have supplies. My point on this is that we should be working together, and the fact that we're not listening to what the people have to say, which is why we have 2 minutes, I'm guessing, is an issue. And I think you should address the issue that you need more public input, and you need people to listen to what the people are saying. And that way we can build success for our students if we're working together. Thank you. Thank you.
Bill Yates.
I'm not that bad, don't we?
Bill Yates, parent of McNair students and husband to McNair spouse. And I had to take a cake and ice cream to my wife on Monday because she was so sad after what tragically happened at McNair with the flooding. Please reach out to your McNair teachers. They are hurting. I urge us to, I know you're working very hard. If we can't get back by Monday, I hope we can try whatever is safe, whatever is creative to get our students back on campus. I also spoke to our special ed chair there, and he said, think about those structured teachers. An exciting thing that's happened is the structured teachers are finally getting paid for their missed preps. They haven't been paid for missed preps for years. But now that they're going to Park Lane, they're getting paid for missed preps. I've talked to our Park Lane structured teachers, and they're looking forward to welcoming their friends. I hope you guys can send them donuts, whatever, because those paras, those preps, those teachers are wonderful teachers that are at McNair that are going to be going there. That's a lot of stress on our wonderful students. And I'm glad you made that possible where they can have a classroom to go to. But it's still going to be hard. So please do everything in your effort to make that nice and wonderful for them. And so, thank you. Work hard on it. Thanks.
Karen Jackson.
good afternoon, or good evening. I'll just be really quick because I originally came to have a conversation about Ms. Letterman's thing she brought forth regarding special education in the last board meeting. And I thought it was on the agenda tonight, but it's been a very busy 2 weeks. So looking at it more closely tonight, I see it is not. So I will come back again. I understand it'll be on the next board meeting. And I want to thank you for bringing forth the questions you had. Thank you.
I'm sorry if I'm going to say this wrong. Nora Mulcahy?
Mulcahy.
Mulcahy.
It's like Father Mulcahy from MASH.
Oh, thank you.
If you all know that. My name is Laura Mulcahy. Thank you for continued efforts and dedication to improve our schools. However, I am really concerned about the Vinewood projects. In my view and the view of others in our community, they're not clearly benefiting our students in meaningful ways. Sorry.
So my daughter's first words when she came on campus were heartbreaking. She said, "Mom, why do they keep ruining my school?" She works hard like the other students do to keep her campus beautiful. We've spent hours at Love Lodi, we've loved on our school, we filled all the potholes on our grass. And it has now become a wasteland. They plan to put in 30 small trees, but that's not going to provide shade. They plan on using seed. It's not going to give us grass. So this is the third year in the row that she's been directly affected by the so-called improvements. She didn't have a play structure for 10 months, and it was done. It had to be closed again because it wasn't built correctly. The next year, the bathrooms. There were porta potties put on the blacktop meant for playtime. Bathrooms were open, and then they were closed because they needed to be fixed. Now, a large portion of the school is unusable. The courtyard that was once beautiful and provided comfort and shade is now dirt and concrete. Mr. Sia came to our campus on back to school night, and he, just like everyone else, just found out how hot the concrete was. We all had to find respite under the eaves of the cafeteria because it was too hot, and this was at 6 p.m. I also pointed out some exposed electrical wires and sharp metal holes in the front fence to our principal last Monday during our open house. I went to school today and luckily those were fixed, but it took a week. The company that you contracted with are not holding up their end of the bargain once again. If you're to walk around our campus, it's obvious the rush job they did to get the school quote unquote ready. The blacktop was poured on Sunday and it's still sticky, uneven, and crumbling. They poured so much asphalt that the benches are now stepping stones. The concrete is uneven, and the concrete that they did leave is now cracked from their demolition. They plan to work on Vinewood's campus during school hours, but my main question is, have they been vetted and are they fingerprinted, just like everybody else needs to be on the school grounds? I find them working on campus creates distraction and dust while our children are trying to learn and play. It's important that all initiatives serve the core mission of supporting student growth, learning, and well-being. Unfortunately, some of the current efforts appear to divert attention and resources away from our children. They're not being benefited at all, and especially the next project of a parking lot, which don't benefit our students at all. I respectfully urge the board to reevaluate how the projects align with the actual needs of our students and to seek more direct input from educators, students, and families in future planning. Thank you guys so much for your time and consideration.
Kelly Hanston.
Kelly Hanston, 6th grade teacher at Julia Morgan. We had a wonderful start to our year. And I remember at the end of the last year, all the wonderful things that you all said about all the schools you visited, how wonderful the teachers were, how great the students were doing. Everything was good. We started the year, we all went to the trainings. Most of us, how many teachers have already bought things for themselves with their own money? Which is what elementary school teachers tend to do, more so than high school, I hate to say it. But we always make sure our kids are happy and they're ready to go. And today, talking with some teachers, we talked about clarity. And the clarity we've received about why we do not deserve a retroactive check for the cost of living that we were due last year, the clarity we've gotten is that you felt that we should have just acceded to the first offer, and that because we did not, you're not going to give it to us. And so we, the teachers at Julia Morgan, would like clarity as to why we do not deserve a cost of living raise that is retroactive to the beginning of last year. Clarity, please. I don't think it's really been voiced yet why you're doing this to us. And everything, as I have so many times said, everything in life is about relationships. You last year, for some reason, went off on a real bad start to how you started bargaining with us. I know that sometimes I see your faces when a different person speaks and you get this look of disdain and why are they wasting our time? And you know, it gets like you really don't appreciate your teachers. Well, darn it, then why do every time you go and see what's happening, you come back with praise for all the wonderful things the teachers are doing? And we work hard. We put our souls into this. And to say that we do not deserve, 1.08% raise, and that we don't deserve it retroactive? I know that what I bought was a lot more expensive this year than when I bought it last year, than when I bought it for the last 35 years. So I'm pretty sure that you rethink your stance on this and show your teachers that they deserve respect. Megan Hayward.
Thank you.
Who's I hand this to? Over here. Hello, thank you for having us and letting us have this opportunity. I apologize for not printing out more copies. I didn't know pictures were going to be so requested tonight. But anyways, I did bring along a petition. I am Megan Hayward. I am here from Vinewood Elementary School. I'm a parent. My oldest daughter has promoted. She's now at Millswood, but she's been there since kindergarten. My youngest daughter is still there. She's in 5th grade. We absolutely love Vinewood, and I know that I have emailed and I have expressed my concerns, but I wanted to come and address them here in person as well. I am here purely because of this parking lot. Part of the issue is that I feel that we are losing trust in our board and our district. We were told multiple times that this parking lot expansion was not moving forward. Last spring break, they redid some of the walkways, and we were told the reason for doing that is so that they could start the project of the lunch shelter this summer. Now it is very clear that those walkways are redone because the parking lot expansion is now moving forward. This is going to cut into our green space. This is going to create more concrete, as we've heard that it's very hot and you don't have a lot of green space. This is also going to cause traffic and issues being so close to the classrooms, as you can see on the pictures when you look. We are losing, I believe it's about 20 feet of space going from the parking lot up to the classroom. I appreciate the responses. I know that the DSA is probably awful to deal with. I understand that they have very strict requirements. I do think that you can come up with a plan though that incorporates their requirements and without having to expand this parking lot. Part of the issue also is safety concerns. So I know that traffic control is an issue. If you go to any school in the afternoon during pickup or drop off in the morning, it is an absolute mess. Lodi High was just completed. That parking lot is a disaster. My husband works there. He tells me all the time how terrible it is. I have a daughter at Millswood. Awful. Do not ever try to go into Millswood parking lots during school pickup. It is terrible. Lastly, I would just like to let you know that this construction is impacting our students. My daughter came home yesterday and told me, I asked her how her day was, told me that her teacher had to tell one of the students that she could not hear him. He was asking a question to clarify something in class, and she could not hear him. So, there are a lot of issues. I would like you guys to reconsider. I don't think this parking lot is necessary, and your community doesn't either. 282 signatures on that petition.
Thank you.
Amy Ramsar.
Good evening, members of the board, Superintendent Young. I sent you all an email earlier, and I'd like to thank Mr. Young for responding almost immediately to my email. I was very excited to see maintenance come up on the agenda today. I sent you all an email with some detailed issues that we have at my site. I teach at Beckman Elementary. I sent you pictures that goes along with them as well. Few of the examples quickly. We have holes in the siding of our buildings. The insulation is flapping in the breeze. The ramps are rotted. I was helping set up a classroom last week, the week before school started, stepped back to open the door, my foot went through the ramp. It's still that way today. My ramp to my classroom does not allow my door to close and lock efficiently more than 50% of the time. My door handle is broken. It's been broken for 3 years. It's been reported for 3 years. The blinds in my classroom are practically destroyed. You cannot close them properly to obstruct the view. The little twists are held on with paper clips. I have asked for 3 years for them to be replaced. We have so much deterioration on our campus, aside from landscaping, which I could talk about that all day as well, that it's unsafe. It's unsafe. We have little kids. I teach kindergarten. I have little kids in that room. I can't keep the door locked. I can't keep the blinds properly closed. The classroom next to me that I stepped through the ramp is TK. They have a hole in the ramp now. You have 4-year-olds going in and out of that room. So please take a look at my email. Please look at the issues that I sent you. Those are just some of them. There's even more, and I gave you a fairly comprehensive list. If you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Garcia.
Hi, Ansoila Garcia, community member, professional educator. The best person. Thank you for saying that. Kelly is a peacemaker. She's always impassioned, but she always looks for finding the peaceful side, and I know that's not where she is tonight. First, I want to thank my colleagues for coming out. Members of executive board, committee chairs, and site reps came tonight. My friend does a first day of school program where he gets kindergarten. Every kindergartner in Stock Unified this year got a brand new book. And I was going to buy books for my class and my partner's class. It was going to cost me $150. And I remembered that Mr. Young had some books he gave me before, so I emailed him or called him. I don't know, something. We connected, and he sent books. So all the 2 kindergarten class at Julian Morgan got books, and we did them Friday. I have pictures for you, so I'll send them. So thank you for those books. I would love to see something about social media. I'd love to see more Stockton schools on our district social media. I would also love for the comments to be open for people to make comments on social media. I've got a laundry list of things. I got kids coming and going out of your room. I've spent $800 in my classroom and 75 hours on my own time, and I want to get home and go to bed. I also appreciate board members for asking questions. I would like you to consider to make a motion to save teachers that 30% bump, because there are teachers on our private group that end up sometimes having to pay the district money because of the differential pay. They owe money for having surgery or a baby. So we need to do something about that. My financial person in the back says it would cost the district more than $100,000 a year, though that never happens. So I know we have that money. Finally, I was at a training at McNair a few weeks ago, and in the presentation to discuss the year's worth of growing. We want a year's worth of growth, and what can we do to get more than a year's worth of growth? Because it's not acceptable to say to a parent, I'm only going to do enough work for 2/3 year of growth or half a year growth. That's unacceptable. And that's how I feel about our COLA. They're offering 2/3 of it, or half a year, or a fifth of a year, or something like that. It's so insulting. When I spent 75 hours of my time and I paid out of my pocket kids to help me, that's not counting the $100 I spent in my room. And then I have to come here, and he has to come here, and you have to come here, and you have to come here to ask for 1%, $1,300 from me. I'm old, 36 years, all the way over, all the way down. It's probably $65 for a brand new teacher. And other people fed first. Take care of your people, and they will take care of you. I say it every time. Feed your people first, and then you eat last, and then everyone is happy. Take care of your people, and they will take care of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have comments from the employee group representatives? Each representative group has 5 minutes to comment on non-agendized items. Thank you.
Lisa Wilkins from LEA. Well, Ann kind of stole a lot of my thunder. I'm sorry. I do want to thank all of my LEA people who came today again. You know, in the Hawaiian and Filipino traditions, Ann said something about feed your people first. If you go to Hawaii and you are not asked to bring food and you bring it, it is an insult. Because that shows that your host cannot provide enough for you. Our teachers are always bringing for our students. Always bringing for our parents, for our school community. But the district doesn't bring much to us. But hey, you ask a lot. You keep asking and asking and asking. But you don't bring. So we can go on and on about pay. I don't want to do that. There's other things I want to talk about. I do want to say that I love how quickly McNair was able to pivot to remote learning. And part of that was due to an MOU that the district and LEA agreed to in 2024 after the electrical incident happened at McNair. That MOU is expiring in June of 2026, but both parties can make that a part of the contract. It's in the MOU language. And I want the board to consider it, looking at how well it worked, how we're getting, teachers were able to teach our students, and coming up with plans for our most vulnerable students in the STC. We want to work with you on that. And this was something that was given, and I'm going to tell you, everything I've gotten from the teachers has been positive. They really want me to make sure that I thank you for this. They are concerned about whether or not they're going to be able to get back on Monday, and we appreciate the consistent and daily updates. The other thing I really appreciate is Mrs. Linderman asking the questions. And a lot of the questions that she's asking are questions I think that need to be answered to the public as well. These are some of the questions, same questions that we ask for in bargaining, and don't always get clear and concise answers. We get very vague answers. And so, yes, you know, we should be asking. You are entrusted with $500 million, of public funds every year. Our budget is $500 million. You should take that seriously. And like Mrs. Linderman said, not to rubber stamp everything. LEA is still looking forward to seeing the final questions and the outline for Ms. Linderman's Supporting Every Learner report. And we want to be a part of that. We want to know how we can help. And we're looking forward to that. But remember, again, if you want us to keep bringing forward to you, you got to bring to us as well. Thank you.
President Val, members of the board, Superintendent Young, welcome all back to a new school year. Sure started with a great flood. Hope all the worst has passed and the best is yet to come. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my M&O brothers and sisters for their hard work at McNair. They are doing everything possible for our students to return to their classroom. A lot of our members do reach out to me and ask about our low wages. I truly hope that you can help address that. We know that Rome was not built in one day, but today is a great day to start. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Do we have any comments from board members?
I know, I was very excited about starting tonight and not feeling so great right now, so I will try and keep things as honest and real. I want to thank M&O and the people involved in getting McNair under control, Mr. Young, the cabinet members, Edith. I know you worked super hard, and I appreciate you taking the extra time to answer the questions that I emailed you. I keep hearing the term rubber stamp tonight, and I find that offensive. I'm not going to lie. The amount of time I know that we put into this, I've been in education for 42 years. I've been in the classrooms. I know what it's like to spend my own money and to not see the raises. Please know that that's important. I was accused after last board meeting of not caring about special ed because of my comments that were misconstrued, and yet all I've done is to try and fight for special ed. And yet it's a constant, and I've got tough skin. I didn't get into this for the accolades or anything like that. I got into this for kids. I got into this for the safety. I want to know that Amy's classroom and the ramp is taken care of. That's what I want to know. And I will be going over to Beckman, which is one of my schools, and check that out, because I understand that that's what my concern is. I'm sick to my stomach about Vinewood and what's happening and the pictures that I'm seeing, and yet it's like there's not that easy fix solution that I can wave the magic wand to. I just want to encourage people to know that we do care more than any group of people I've seen in a very long time. We are not rubber stamping things, and for the first time in many, many years in this district, I do believe that we can make a bridge and bridge this gap. But we all have to bend. We all have to be willing to do that a little bit, and we all have to come together. That's all. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Ms. Levy?
I do want to thank Edith and everyone for answering a lot of the questions that I brought up, and they do work really hard to try to get those questions. I know that I asked a lot of different questions than before, so not saying this board is amazing. You guys work phenomenally. I know you guys send a lot of questions as well. I know our perspectives, each one of these individuals are much different than each other's, which is the beauty of having a board of 7 different people. And so our experiences are, because they are so different, are what we see as being challenges or questions are different. Not saying that everyone here is working for everyone very hard, and I know same with the cabinet. So I do appreciate what you guys are doing. So sorry for all the questions. I know it's a different world, but I do appreciate everything that you guys are doing. I appreciate what this board is doing, especially President Dr. Ball. I do appreciate all the facilitation and help that you do provide for me, and Sherry, all the learning and teaching. So thank you. Hopefully the rest of the year is a little bit better. Hopefully everyone has great meetings.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank the staff for a lot of the things that we learned today, and I've talked to Edith a lot, and like Sherry, I'm kind of frustrated too after being a teacher for 30 plus years. 25 of those was working with English as second language learners who came over as first ones were refugees, second or second generation usually, or immigrants, which is different. And I don't feel I'm rubber stamping things. Maybe people think that, but my wife's been a special education teacher. My daughter was a paraeducator in this school district for special ed, and now she's bilingual school psychologist. And I'm going to toot her horn. She's not here. She just got published in, I guess it's a professional journal, Building Bridges, Best Practices for Supporting Refugee Students in U.S. Schools. And today's her birthday too. And she's engaged to Lodi boy, and both of his parents teach in the district. One taught, past tense. Yeah. So anyway, and I think this board, I like the diversity in the board, and anyway, I'm here. So I hope we have a great year. We have a great year, you and us.
Well, thank you everybody for being here. I don't have any comments either. It's been a great night listening to everybody, and I wish everybody a good school year coming up. Thank you.